Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We are live. So people are still connecting. Hello, Anthony.
Hi, Kenza. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good too. Very good. Thank you.
So we have few people connected. Hello, everyone. You have a chat available on the top right bottom. So feel free to chat with us and send your messages. Do you hear us well? Everyone. Still people connecting, which is nice. We'll wait a few moments. We'll wait a few minutes until a
Yes.
couple of minutes until everyone is connected, and then we'll start.
Don't hesitate to tell us maybe where you're from here in the world because it's an international webinar. I see people from Poland, from Czech Republic.
I see Berfin. Hi, Berfin. We already spoke before, so hi. Really nice to see you here today. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Joanna also from Poland, which is nice. Hi.
Hi.
I don't know how to speak in every language, but I wanted to say Nasilsin for Berfin, but I don't know in in
And I
other
would
language.
say Dzień dobry for Joanna. Nice.
Welcome, welcome. Also, I think Brian is also connecting from Netherlands. One more minute. Berfin, is someone else joining from SEM or is it just you? Okay.
Good.
We'll send you the. It will be recorded, so we'll send you the replay so you can share internally and everyone can see what we're gonna cover.
Okay.
All
So I
right,
think
just a few
we're
seconds more,
yeah
and then
we have around 15 people, something like that. I think.
yeah,
So it's a small committee. That's nice. Maybe because of holiday, right, Kenza? So
yeah,
we'll
everyone is
be
off. It's tougher. So and yeah, it's even better because we're going to be able to really answer all the questions that you guys have, and we'll be able to really
exactly.
do it more personalized way, and that's good. So first of all, thank you so much for joining today's webinar. I hope you're doing well, and really that everyone is staying safe. On our end, we're really happy to welcome you. And my name is Kenza, and today I'm with my colleague Anthony.
Hi.
We're both international sales managers at Partoo and local SEO experts. So we'll be sharing with you a lot of information. So I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, thank you again for joining. Regarding the agenda, what we're going to cover in the next 25 minutes, it will be four main parts. So the first one will introduce you the importance of the local SEO and the Google My Business for the banking and insurance sector, especially. Then we're going to dive into the recommendations that we're going to share with you. And these recommendations will help you to optimize your online visibility and the e-reputation. Then, of course, we're going to speak about the impact of these recommendations that it might have, what you should expect. And we'll also use some use cases of our clients to show you with real numbers and KPIs what it brought them. And last but not least, at the end of this webinar, we will have some time to answer all your questions. You do have a tab, chat tab, so you can put your questions there. But we will also be holding polls, so we'll make sure that we share with you some answers, so it's more interactive. And speaking of which, I think before starting, we do have a poll that's ready. So if you want, you can, it's on the polls tab. So please go ahead and you can answer. There's a question, and it's just to get to know you and know how you handle the GMB listings. So it's on the polls tab. You can start to answer.
Yes, let's go now, Kenza.
Yep, let's go.
Okay. Great. So first, we're going to see together why localization in Google My Business is so important for the banking and the insurance industry. To put everyone on the same level of knowledge, you have to know that before, to find any of your branches, potential customer, they would go to your website and look for your information. Today, it is less and less true. It means that Google My Business is here to help. This is the digital showcase for your establishment and the first point of contact with internet user. We can sit together if we're doing a search like bank agency in Paris, for instance. Then the Google My Business listing will appear prominently with a Google Map, and most of the time they appear before your own website. But Google is not the only point of entry. This is the main doorway, but today there are 30 times more contacts that are generated by third-party platform than by your own website, especially GPS, but also social networks. So once we know that, what is important to understand is how actually the Google algorithm works. When
Yeah.
you are, yeah,
Yeah, please go ahead. No,
yeah,
sir. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Kenza.
No, it's true. It's true that normally those numbers also evolve because when you join, like Google shares with us the numbers and how often the clients find you on
Yeah,
other websites. So it went from uh, 7 times more, then 10 times more, and now we're having 30 times more, which is a huge. And that's why you as a client, or even for agencies, that you need to convince your clients to be using GMB, because that's where the traffic is really now. And it's also about the ranking factors. Normally, when you're present on multiple platforms, it helps you rank better on Google, and it's like a virtuous circle. And as you see here on the slide, you have three ranking criteria mainly for Google. And the first one, it's the distance, which is either the distance between your establishment and the position of your client, or according to the area they search, which is something that you really cannot impact because it depends on where they are. The second part is the consistency and the relevance between the informations you have on your website, on your available online, and the one that you have on Google. And it's called the NAP consistency, which is name, address, and phone number. For example, if I'm looking for a bank open in Paris, what is the kind of information and results that I have? And when I have those results, are they showing a bank? Is the bank open? Is it in Paris? And is it the same information across the other platforms? So, just a quick tip to know where you stand. I think you should ask yourself: is the information that you have on your website, is it consistent? And I think that's the basic thing that you should do, because honestly, Google works like a human brain. For example,
yeah,
if Anthony goes now and he asks a person, is the bank in my neighborhood open on a Sunday? The person will probably answer yes, and then he'll go and he asks two other people who will say no. What will probably happen is that he will not even go to there, and he will consider the information as unreliable and not take it into account. That's
yeah.
what you will.
I wouldn't take a chance, especially with COVID time. You need to have the right information and be sure.
Yeah. So that's how Google works. It's the same way. And the third part is the prominence and reputation. So really, it's a key factor. We're speaking about where your average rating, the number of reviews, the responses, and the frequency of the replies that you're given, and in a general, like any activity that you're taking to improve your client's experience. So you've got it right. This algorithm optimizations are really essential because um, they're really helping you improve your relationship with your client, and it should be taken into account to appear on the queries of the clients that they're
Especially
looking
for
for
that,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So now, before they find you, how do people even search for you? Anto will share with us some information about this topic and explain to us how people actually search for brands like yours.
Yes, sure. Well, you know that more and more people now, more and more nowadays, we trust Google to get the best recommendation. And there are two type of research that people mostly do. The first one would be the direct one, when looking for directly for an establishment. For instance, it could be generally in Amsterdam. It illustrates your notoriety, the brand awareness, the brand image that you have. It will be most likely your client that will look for this. So people that already know you and that already maybe buy from you. And then the second one would be the discovery search that we also call indirect search. It's when looking for a category or an activity. For instance, here it would be insurance in Amsterdam. And that is here that the treasure is hidden. The more you are visible here, the more new client you will get. And indeed, this is where people have a need and they don't know where to turn. So you want to catch them real fast because this is huge. It's around 50% of Google searches, or no, 80% more in the Google searches that are in the banking industry and the insurance sector that are discovery searches. So a lot of people that may not know you yet and that you can get. So now, what is very important to rank on those queries, on the indirect and discovery queries, uh, to know it's that you need to optimize everything. You need to optimize the Google My Business listing first. So we're going to explain a little bit with Kenza now what we are doing with some of our clients and how it's very important. First, it's about the data management, making sure that you have the right information online and that you have a very good data quality. You need to have correct and updated information. But guess what? It's a problem. There is Google that doesn't wait for you all the time. Sometimes Google will create automatically listings with incomplete or wrong information to communicate with its user. If you don't make this topic a priority, then at one point you may face some problem with acquisition, conversion, and security. Here you can see on the listing that we have some duplicates for our client that is Crédit Agricole. It can mislead customer with wrong information, and it will lower the SEO impact because there is too many choices for the same location. So Google doesn't really understand this online presence. Also, since you don't own all the listing, you can't possibly update this information. Next, it would be, for instance, also the ATM, because we talk about the bank, the branches, but there is also, for instance, ATM. This is the same thing. ATM are a doorway to your bank because many people, they will look for ATM every day. Since we need this information, Google creates automatically ATM, and your brand might be impacted if it's not taken care of. We know that at the moment in the industry, the number of ATM in every network, banking network, is being reevaluated by major network to just reduce costs. But this has consequences on the final customer. In towns, you might only need a few additional meters to just find an ATM, but in rural areas, it's more complicated, and having them listed is very important. So it's about, like Kenza said before, the NAP consistency, so having them listed on Google, but also on the GPS and all special platforms. If this webinar focuses mostly on Google My Business, you should know that having your branches and your agency listed on those GPS and those international websites, it will send a very good and positive signal to Google to rank higher your listing. Google just loves it. And ATM, they are often searched on GPS, so we would advise you to get listed on Apple Maps, Google Maps, TomTom, Waze. Here, that are the main GPS. Kenza, maybe you can tell us more about those GMB features.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's really important to not only be on GMB but also pay attention to other platforms and respect what we mentioned is the consistency. Really, your information needs to be the same everywhere. For the features that Google My Business is giving you to increase your ranking, to increase and improve your organic SEO, the first one is the categories. So that's what we're going to speak about now. And these features that we're going to cover now are available on your GMB back office, and Google made it available for businesses to be used. So make sure you use it. For categories, we highly recommend to our clients that they do not stay with only one category. You have one main one, and you can add up to 10 categories per listing. So they're to be used. So feel free to use them. They're really helping with the organic SEO. And you can add all those that represent the services that your establishment delivers. So if there's one single action that you should take for your GMB now today is the categories to boost your local search. This also will allow your potential customers to find you with different keywords. And in the banking and insurance, you can see here just a couple of examples. Maybe you can add bank, ATM, financial consultant. So all of it is available. Yes, hello, Pierre-Louis. Hello, we're still having people here joining us. So yeah, that's about categories. Then we're going to continue with attributes. It's another feature that's available. Really take your time to feed the attributes that are corresponding to your main category, and they are tags that actually describe your service. It could be accessibility, payment method, health attributes. A lot of them are available depending on your main sector. This is really important information because your potential customer will look at it before they choose to come to your establishment or not. And it also helps massively with the organic SEO. Another feature, this is just, again, an example. We wanted to show you how it looks like to attributes on Google My Business. So in the case of a banking insurance, you can add if it's wheelchair accessible, if you have cash, if you accept other cards, and so on. These will be available on your back office. Again, another feature that's really important, and I cannot even stress it enough, and stress how important they are, is the secondary links and URLs. Google My Business now gives the local businesses and establishment the option of adding other links in addition to their website. So you'll have it underneath it, and it encourages people to use it and to take certain actions on your listing. So it's a call to action, and for you, it would be about, for example, booking an appointment. So it's where you can add in a landing page to where people can actually book a meeting with your counselors and so on. So that's really something that brings traffic to not only to your website, but also to your offline stores. Exceptional hours. We all face these issues in the current situations. We're living through a pandemic. So whether it's lockdowns, it's curfews, or even for some of them, for the regions that we manage, and we have, for example, Ramadan or Eid or all the exceptional holidays and public holidays, it will always be this exceptional hour tab that you need to be using. It will allow you first to either temporarily change a schedule or announce that your establishment is actually closed, but that you offer probably click and collect or delivery services. And above all, it will. This feature is really highly recommended by Google because due to COVID, if you do change this, your ranking, your listing will appear even more because you took the time to actually inform your clients. Now we tap into another subject and another topic that's really interesting. It's about Google posts. A lot of our clients are not even aware of the existence of those Google posts. They're free to use. And they're really good because a recent study showed that 65% of Google searches were a non-click search, meaning that the client had all the information that they needed without even having to click on your website or to click on your listing. That explains the importance of having all the information correct, relevant, and updated on your GMB. In this example, go.
We received a good news, by the way, also this morning. I don't know if you saw that, Kenza, but before the Google post, maybe you tried to do massive post with an API, maybe like last year, and it was not possible for chain and banking network or industry or insurance agencies network. Now it's possible, and it has been just acted by Google. It will be available through the API. It will be possible to do Google post massively for all kind of companies. So that's a very good news.
It is,
And
yeah.
it's not now time consuming.
It is, and before it was a struggle for the big chains to have this done automatically. So it's really, really good news. And you can use the Google Post for a lot of things, for renovation, for trainings. Here you can even to book appointments, and use any relevant information about your banks and branches. Also, they're free to use, so we highly suggest that you go and play around and see these features. Some of them are really temporary, so they stay a week or they stay a couple of weeks. So you just put there and create that momentum, and that you improve your position and people get to know you better. So we highly recommend that you go and try it out. Moving forward to logos and photos, you already know this is really one of the all the topics are important when it comes to GMB, but this is one of the most impactful ones. It's crucial to have a nice cover photo, a logo that's available on your front page. But what businesses don't usually take the time to do is, or understand even, is a direct link between the number of pictures and the Google listing and its local SEO and conversion. So the local SEO, it's the extent to which the business will appear on a result linked to the category, and the conversion is actually the number of contacts generated and the impact on the traffic. So it's really linked, and you can see here we conducted this is a study that have been made on carried out on 45,000 establishments, and the curve shows what we previously mentioned. Businesses with average around 100 pictures appear 7 times more in discovery searches than the average, and businesses with only one picture appear on average 2 times less, and we're only speaking about pictures that we add. Now, of course, we know that for banking, for insurance, it's really for it's a particular industry. So having 100 pictures can be a challenge. But let's just keep in mind that a rule of thumb, it's simple: the more, the better, and that's how it works.
Yeah, that's the trend.
And it's
Um,
really working.
yeah. Yeah, it works a lot. When we put photograph, it changes everything. And in terms of conversion too, it's all the more attractive for for your customer to see what you can present and the inside of your branch. There is one topic, the last part of the recommendation. Generally, we suggest optimization on Google My Business, and we don't always do a reputation because it's a very, very specific topic too. But here we thought it was very important to mention it quickly, because that is one of the most important criteria if you want to rank higher in the search result and get more traffic. E-reputation now is very, very important. So it's about mostly review management. So why would we reply to the reviews? The first thing to do for a good customer relationship is simply, well, it's basic, but to respond to your reviews. Today, a lot of brands don't do it yet because they're not staffed enough, maybe, but this is something we should really dive into because it's very, very important if you want to get actual performances on this local SEO strategy. So there is 4 main reasons. First is the customer relationship. If you respond to a review, the user who left it will be notified by Google, and then you will show that you care and that you are listening to him, and you will have a better chance. He will have a better chance to come back to the establishment, and even in the case of a negative review, if you answer to that, maybe he will change its mind and just change the comment or change the score. It's always nice for a client to be listened to and to see that the brand care about the comment and the feedback. The second point would be about the audience. There is a very large audience that is seeing your listing, your establishment online. As we've seen before, in average, this is around 30 contacts more generated on Google My Business than your website. So there is around 97% of the internet user today that read the reviews, that also read the replies to the reviews. So when you respond to a review today, you're not only responding to a person, but you are also sending a message to the thousands of people that will see your business every month and that will see your reply, and so the brand image that you can convey. The third point would be that it's about improving your SEO. If you look at the Moz local SEO report of 2020, Moz being the reference in SEO studies, it's a very well-known agencies. They do a study every year, every 2 years or so about local SEO and the criteria of the algorithm. E-reputation is the second most important one. So it's about having the right number of review, little bit more than your competitors, an average score that is higher than 4, and also replying a lot to the comments. It's the opportunity to mention the important keywords that you may have for you, for your activity, for your branch, for the service or product that you want to underline. And the more you put those keywords into the reply, the more people are willing to use the same keyword in the next comment. And since keywords and comments and replies are taken care into the algorithm, the more you say it, the more you will have chances to rank on those queries. And thanks to the reviews, it's very important to track the evolution of their reputation. You can have very nice KPI to present to top management or even to the branches. You can follow over time the reputation at a national or local level of the brand or of the branches, and you can also analyze the opinions to find out the reasons of satisfaction or unsatisfaction inside the branch and what people say about you. And you can that way quickly improve things if you know what people are saying about the branch. Then I think I think it's now a very very interesting part. Kenza, maybe you could share with us some numbers that we have.
Yeah, true. We're speaking a lot about GMB, what to do, and exactly like what kind of optimizations you should be taking. But we also wanted to speak to you about the impact of all of this and what to expect as when you do it. These slides here, will send you everything by email, so you receive it. It's just the key numbers about how it evolved and during the pandemic. But I wanted really to take the time to speak to you about this particular slide because we conducted the study on all of our clients. So it's really something that we hold close to our hearts because we wanted to see the before and after the Partoo solution and how GMB is actually impacting the local businesses. So the first KPI we're sharing today is about the query evolution. So you can see also the curve. You have 1.6 million queries per month, and we were speaking about 4 times more. And these queries, you can also see it's around 800,000 direct searches and the 800 more thousand more of discovery searches that Anthony explained. So you can also see the evolution over time with just those simple modifications that we spoke about. Another really important KPI is a call to action. So you know how many people found you, but now you can know what's the activity that's been taken on your listing. So here, 136,000 call to actions per month, and it includes the calls, direction requests, and even the clicks to the website. So through your listing, you can see how many people actually went to your physical source or even visited your website. So it becomes also a source of traffic. And when we think about how the Google traffic is divided, as Anthony mentioned, is the 20-80%, you can see that discovery search is really important. So if they find you through that 80%, then you can imagine how many of them will call you and will go to your websites. All these have been conducted on our current clients in your industry. And as you can see, all these recommendations also are some things that we implement for our clients and that actually work. And we share today, we're working with more than 40 banking and insurance companies around the world, and we just onboarded the new ones. We onboard new ones every week, every month. So it's really one of our main sectors. And the latest one is ING, for example. So we work with Generali around the world. So it's really something that we want to, we make it easy for clients to use, and we also make it easy for the locals.
Yeah, I think that Kenza, maybe we could present some real use case. We have a little bit of time with some issue that some of these clients have been facing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we have time to cover a couple. I think we'll do the Generali example that we made ready for example, for the context here. Generali will help them with more than 15 countries around the world. So you have Generali that distributes insurance through the local agents. So, for example, in Spain, lots of them are not active anymore. So the offices are closed, but those listings still appeared on the Google My Business. That was the first issue. Plus, there was a bug on Google My Business that happened, a technical problem from Google that generated hundreds of duplicates of years ago. So there's a lot of duplicates to manage. And Generali had no possibility to face the situation, and they asked us to help. That's where we came in. And first, we helped them with the closing, opening of the offices, but we also created the duplicate management tool that was developed by our technical team, and we helped them delete or even merge more than 1,500 duplicates. So it's 1,500 duplicates that were managed for Generali across the globe. So that's really just to give you an idea of the scale of things that we can do for our client, and it's really personalized. It depends. It's more of a project that we build with the clients rather than just one size fit all. I think another really good example here to speak about is BNP. So maybe you can.
Yeah, we would not be normal not to mention COVID in this webinar, I guess. So we actually helped them to face that challenge because of the crisis. BNP Paribas needed to be able to massively update their information on all branches, all store, like for instance closing and opening hours without any mistake. So together we developed an API that to their store locator, to their website, that automatically updates information on Google My Business and GPS thanks to Partoo. So we linked their database to our database with a flux, and then whenever they were making changes onto their website, the information was going directly into the Partoo database, and then we would be able to distribute all information very properly and in a clean way, all data towards all the provider and all the local search engine that we're working with. And it was a great success because thanks to that, we had significant result. We augmented by 900,000 calls to the branches. We made more than 85,000 website click additional and 500,000 additional direction requests. That is to say, 500,000 new visitors into the branches of the bank. So I guess finally, to wrap up this webinar, we'll maybe make a quick introduction about who we are. Maybe you already know us for some of you, but if you don't, so Partoo, we help companies like yours to improve local SEO and e-reputation with a dedicated software and expertise. But also, what we can bring to you is, for instance, if you want more for a next meeting, if you want us to arrange a call, please tell us, and we'll be very happy to do a very specific audit of the current situation that you may have about your own brand. And yeah, we don't hesitate to reach out to us. But for now, I guess this is the time to answer all of your questions. Sorry, and we are here to help with any kind of situation. So please share your problem, your issues, if you have some at the moment.
Yeah, and we'll also be sharing our LinkedIn pages and links in the chat tab, so you can just add us and connect. It's more of a discussion. So at Partoo, here's the webinar. So we're more in a discussion kind of mode, but it's also the same way we do with our clients. So it's okay. We sit down and we listen to your needs, and we say, okay, this is where we can help you. This is what we can do. So if you really have any issues struggling with Google My Business or any other organic SEO topic, and SEO in general, so you're more than welcome to reach out. Thank you,
Perfect.
Luciana. You have the links here on the chat. Do you have any questions?